And hello again, everyone. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene, presented this week by Jimmy's Egg. Reminder, Jimmy's Egg, you can go to breakfast, lunch, all day there, of course, and they have burgers at 9 a.m. or bacon and eggs at noon, whatever you want. A lot of locations around the state of Oklahoma and around surrounding states. Jimmy's Egg, the place for breakfast and lunch. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, along with the Hall of Famer, Gil Cloud, another Hall of Famer to my left side. That's J.B. Haney. Coach, quite a show today. In fact, we've been looking forward to this one for a long time. Winningest head football coach in Oklahoma State history. No more colorful character in coaching, I think, than Pat Jones.
Pat Jones, we're glad to have Pat with us today. I'm sure he'll have a lot of stories and have a lot of insight, I'm sure, on the Final Four.
Looking forward to that. And TU Golden Hurricane get represented here by a good friend of ours.
Well, anytime you look at Tomkalski, you are looking at the University of Tulsa, because I don't know of anyone out there who does any more than Tom.
He's their communications director. A lot to talk about with the TU Golden Hurricane. And we're also going to present our Route 66 Chevrolet Player and Coach of the Year in Oklahoma. The month, I should say, for the month of November. We'll have Barry Lewis here from the Tulsa World to make that announcement. And Harry Harrison himself from Route 66 Chevrolet will be here to talk about and the award and show us a new plaque we come up with as well. So a lot to look forward to on the show. Let's talk though right now, guys. We have some hot topics and plenty of those to go around. I guess we should start with the college football playoffs. Gil, did they get it right?
They did. You know, somebody texted me late Saturday night and said Alabama, Ohio State. I said, no question, Alabama. Had to be Alabama. And I think the other three were right in the line. The thing is that everybody talks about was now we need to go to 8. You know, well, here's the problem. 5 is going to be upset, or 9 is going to be upset. It doesn't make any difference where you are. If you went to 16, 17 would be upset. So, you know, we just need to get it right. And it is, to me, a little bit of a problem when you have a 2 Power 5 conferences with nobody in.
And one conference with 2 in for the first time ever. Coach, your thoughts?
Well, you know, Gil and I were talking about this earlier. The thing of it is, the way they had the playoffs anymore in the conferences, that's almost like extending it to 8 or 10 or 12. So they got back, I think, to the right 4, and the conference playoffs was a part of that.
We'll be talking more about that with Coach Jones when he comes on in just a few moments. But we also have Oklahoma high school playoffs and some champions to congratulate. Barry Lewis will be talking more in detail about that. But, boy, there's some great football games last weekend.
Well, we were glad here in the northeast Oklahoma that we had 2 of the champions. Actually had all 4 of the participants in 6A1 and 6A2. And, of course, we were excited for Owasso and Bill Blankenship and his first year at Owasso, and Brad Caleb at Booker T did a great job in winning their first state championship since 2010. So, and
congratulations to Carl Albert in the 5A and also Heritage Hall in the 4A. Coach, basketball time now. I know people really haven't gotten to basketball quite yet, but the big question about Oklahoma is, what's wrong with the Oklahoma City Thunder? Quarter of the season in, they're sitting at 9-12 and last in their Northwest Division Conference.
Well, you know, my thinking on that, and I've said this from the very beginning, when they begin to bring in outstanding players that other teams maybe don't want to keep, when they get them down there, then suddenly they don't have the unity on offense or the unity on defense that they have to win, and it's not going to get any better.
Another hot topic, Gil, is the return of Tiger Woods. Showed up in the Bahamas in a little event with about 18 pros there and stuff, finished in the middle of the pack, but after 10 months off, he actually looked pretty good, had some pretty good runs there.
He had a bad 3rd round where he shoots 75.
Right.
You know, he shot in the 60s for 3 rounds.
69, 68, 68.
The 3rd round killed him, and I don't know if the back is a situation. I mean, when he's had as many back surgeries as he's had, I don't know how long he can go, but it was good to have him back out on the tour, I think.
And, of course, Ricky Fowler, the dominant Oklahoma State Cowboy, unbelievable. He's 7 shots back. Started that final round. All he does is go 11 under par, 61 with 7 straight birdies. He is some kind of golfer. Love his orange, too, on the final day representing Oklahoma State. Speaking of Oklahoma State, Pat Jones, the legend himself, will be coming up next on Oklahoma Sports Scene, brought to you by Jimmy's Egg.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lovers skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, it won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Get employee pricing right now at Route 66 Chevrolet.
That's right. Get employee pricing on the 2017 Chevy Colorado, Suburban, Traverse, and even the Silverado and Tahoe.
Employee pricing on all 2017 models. And that's not all. Get 20% off the Chevy Cruze, Sonic, and Spark. Or get 0% for 72 months. Jim Glover Chevrolet is now Route 66 Chevrolet, I-44 Memorial, or Route66Chevy.com.
The holidays are here. Enjoy a taste of the season with the new holiday sandwich at Billy Sims Barbecue. Fresh cut turkey, slow smoked on site each day, then piled high with savory cornbread dressing and Billy Sims signature cranberry Q sauce. Available for a limited time at Billy Sims Barbecue. The holidays are here. Enjoy a taste of the season right now with the new holiday sandwich at Billy Sims Barbecue.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, brought to you by Jimmy Zig. Great to have with us the former head coach, Oklahoma State University, NFL assistant as well. Famous himself, Pat Jones, also a famous radio host across the state on Sports Animal. Pat, great to have you join us on Oklahoma Sports
Good to
Scene.
be here with you guys. It's kind of like the old timers game.
It is. It is.
It really is. And I'm flattered to be part of it. Trust me.
Coach, your reaction then to the college football playoffs? Did they get it right?
Well, I think Gil's correct. I agree with if Ohio State wanted to be part of this, don't go to Iowa and get beat 31 points. That's what got them out of it. The last number in there, number 4, you can have all that kind of debate and everything else, but the margin of that defeat, those coaches in that room are going to say exactly what Gil and I just said. What Gil said and what I just said. That margin of defeat kept Ohio State out of there, and it should have. So I think they got it right, and it'll be really interesting going forward.
And Oklahoma, number 2, and put up against Georgia in the semifinals out at the Rose Bowl. What do you think of that matchup?
It'll be a very interesting contrast in the styles of play offensively. Obviously, I thought, Gil, most of the season that the OU offensive unit is the best unit in college football, offense, defense, special teams, with the best player in college football in Mayfield. Now, Georgia is still got some classic two-back. Those 3 tailbacks are good players. Jim Chaney and Pittman, the offensive line coach, who used to be at OU at one time, I mean, they're going to run downhill at you, and they're going to try to control the clock. And if they can break one of those tailbacks, we'll find out if the OU secondary won't tackle anybody. But I think OU is so hard to handle offensively, so hard to handle. They got so many weapons. Mayfield's playing so good. I would be surprised. It should be a good ball game. I'll be very surprised if Georgia can beat them.
What kind of defense do you think that they'll have to put against to contain that offense?
It's interesting. I believe that, the thing about it's just get out there and make sure you got 11 guys and they get lined up right. If I'm Georgia, I haven't seen enough of them. I think that what I saw the other day, they're pretty good defensively. I don't think they're as overwhelming as Clemson in the front, but they'll run and hit you. As long as they don't just give up the huge plays. OU's going to get theirs. They're too good. But, if they'll just make sure that the guys are back, that who's back and who's up. I know that sounds simplistic, but it is with all the different personnel groupings that OU uses and all the different skill levels they got. And then when Mayfield starts running around, you can't defend it. You can't draw up something for that. And you just hope that one of your guys can run him down or he makes a bad throw. Or if you're Georgia, try to control the football and keep OU's offensive unit off the field.
JV, Baker Mayfield's always been kind of a polarizing figure. He's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Your thoughts, though, on not even Sports Illustrated's cover jinx could stop Baker Mayfield, though.
Well, now, throughout all of this, I have never denied his ability. I mean, there is no doubt that he is the best that we have today in college football. But things that he has done, he has, I think, really intimidated a lot of the voters for the Heisman. He's going to win it, but not the way he should have won it with maybe 100%. So I still think he has a lot to learn.
I heard today that he didn't win the Burlsworth again. He's won it 2 years in a row for
the walk-on, yeah.
And it was a quarterback from Washington State.
Yeah,
Really? Oh.
they just over there just wanted to give it to somebody else. It's the kids.
and that's what they talked about.
And that's where
he's going to win all this other stuff, so don't give him that too.
Right.
Well, right after all that flip-flap at Kansas and stuff, I was in Norman, had a chance to sit down with Coach Switzer for a few minutes, and I asked Barry what he thought of that whole thing about Baker Mayfield, what kind of player he was, what kind of person he was, then what he thought of Lincoln Riley suspending him. Let's hear from Coach Switzer. We'll get Coach Jones' reaction right after this. Here's Barry Switzer. The situation with Baker Mayfield, how you thought that was handled, how would you have handled it, and what you thought about Lincoln Riley?
Well, see, I think this about when you're in the heat of competition, you do things, you react because of a reaction. And your reaction is because of that action. And you don't have time to meditate and think about the consequences of it. You just react. And what happened from the beginning of the game when it was orchestrated, when he stuck out his hands, the captain, they didn't, and these little kids here had been told not to take their hands out of their pocket because they're standing there, little 5- and 6-year-olds. You know they were coached up. They didn't make a move. And when I saw that, and they saw it a couple of times, I said, hey, that was premeditated by them to start the game like that. Then he took the cheap shot that was after the ball was completely thrown. The officials are watching and going away, and that guy premeditatedly, without a doubt, attacked him to hurt him. And we're unfortunate it didn't. But that was something that, you know, that he had to live with the rest of the game that Baker did, that these people are not, you know, anything like what we played before. They're not conducting themselves. And they said some things to him and walked off the field. And, you know, Bosworth did this to him. I don't know what the hell that means.
And Lincoln did the right thing, you think? Handled it the right way? I think Coach Riley handled it the right way? The suspension of...
No, I think he submitted to the pressure of the damn media. I think that's what happened. The hell with it. You know what I said? I said, damn right he won't start the game. Baker, you cannot start the damn game. But you know what? You don't bring them back. You're not on a cover team. You're not on a return team. Hey, that's starting the game. You're in the first series.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care.
The best definition of a true competitor that I've ever heard is one that honors your opponent with a great performance. This wasn't the media's fault. The media didn't create this. Mayfield is 22 years old. If I'm not mistaken, you can go to Afghanistan at 18 and die. You know, so as far as doing what he did, he didn't need to do that. The kid, and Barry's told me several times, I've asked him, you know, what kind of youngster is this? He likes Mayfield. He thinks he's a good kid. Now, as far as doing what he did, you don't need to do that. And as far as going to Fayetteville and getting, you know, knocked into the wall by the officer, you don't need to be doing that. I think what JV said earlier is really interesting. I think had somebody been real close in this Heisman race, if you'd had somebody else that had really lit it up, that incident might have cost him the Heisman. Now, it's such a big lead, it's not going to make any difference, and shouldn't, because Mayfield's the best player in the country. But Mayfield's a grown man. He knows how to act. I've coached some bad characters, you know, that would do a lot of things way worse than that. But they might have done it at the bottom of the pile, Gil. You know what I mean? Where you're not all out in front of everybody. So again, this youngster is really a fine football player. And again, I hear a good kid.
Will it hurt his NFL stock, the draft situation?
Well, now I've talked to a couple of guys, and what they'll wonder is, Chris, did we miss the warning signs on Manziel? You know, you always go back and evaluate the evaluators. Right. And look and go back and say, well, did we miss something here on Manziel? Did we miss something here on this youngster? I don't think this kid's some kind of crazy youngster at all, but they'll wonder. You know, now he's probably not going to be a first-round draft choice anyway, although he's a really good player. But yes, I mean, you don't want to have somebody. I've written those reports too. You know, you don't want to have down at the bottom written, what kind of kid is this, and put a bunch of question marks. Rather not have that.
We have a lot more with Coach Jones coming up in the next segment, talking about Oklahoma State, about Mike Gundy, his new contract, and about what kind of settlement Coach Jones got when he left Oklahoma State. Probably not that much again. You have something, though, with our good friends from the Greater Tulsa Reporter.
We'd like to remind you about a paper that you can pick up in metropolitan Tulsa at 6 different locations. And Forrest Cameron puts out the GTR and covers almost anything you would want to read. If you want to read something about civics, something about sports, politics, religion, all of it can be found in the GTR. So we would encourage you today, Pick up one, read it, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, looks like he's almost off the phone. Let's go.
Surprise! Happy birthday, Sammy!
It's not my birthday yet.
Not yet, but we're celebrating all month long with special deals on Hondas and fun prizes when you come to visit the showroom.
That's selling Honda Sammy style. Just don't tell them I'm turning 60. I mean 50. I mean 49.
Come into Don Carlton Honda, family owned and operated for over 40 years.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbred season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
Rising from the plains of Oklahoma is a destination for scholars and thinkers, dreamers and doers. This is where hope, hard work, and integrity create tomorrow's catalysts for change. And excellence is the standard demanded not only of your head, but your heart. This is Oklahoma State University, America's brightest orange.
And back on Oklahoma Sports Scene, presented by Jimmy's Egg with J.B. Haney, Gil Cott, and the coach Pat Jones is here. Coach has talked some more about Oklahoma State Cowboys now, and long time in Stillwater, assistant, then of course with Jimmy, then took over as head coach. Some of your fondest memories in Stillwater.
Well, I was there 16 years. I have some fond ones. I have some that are not real fond, but you stay around long enough, Gil, you're gonna get it all anyway.
Yeah, right.
But I think one of the things that I've probably enjoyed the most, to be honest about it, is watching the success. You know, when you got one of your former players, you know, Mike was a big hit for us because Oklahoma State couldn't hardly get a kid from Midwest City. You got Barry Price, but you know, those kids are all going, they didn't know where Stillwater was. They knew where Norman was. But we get Mike, and OU wanted him. Mike Gundy, I'm talking about. We get Mike, and that was a big hit for us to get him. And watching his progression, we gave him his first job. You know, we started him as a freshman. We gave him his first job coaching. And to watch his progression all the way up to now, in all honesty, you know, he went by me as being the all-time winningest coach here several years ago. And I won't lie, if there had been some cat from Michigan or Colorado, it probably pissed me off. But being Mike, it didn't. You know, you share your former players, you do share, you know, pride in that. I won't lie about that. So I think watching the development of Mike and what he's done in leading that program, the directions they've been in recruiting, all the things he's done there, I've gotten a big thrill out of.
Nobody in all of the history of college football coaching, I don't think, has ever coached a backfield like you had at one time. Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders in the same backfield.
Well, you know, that was Thurman was highly recruited. You know, we signed him Jimmy Johnson's last recruiting season. Then I become the coach, and we have him 4 years. Sanders is probably the poster child for a lightly recruited kid. You know, now TU sent a coach over there and saw him. So did Iowa State. Now George Walstead, our guy who was the hero of the whole thing, we signed him. I never even made a home visit on him. And the kid is arguably the best back that's ever played the game, period. And that's a mouthful.
That's right.
But again, you know, Switzer accuses us of hiding the film. Well, yeah, we hid a film, but I've told Coach Switzer, you know, Highway 35, Gil, wasn't only limited to Oklahoma State coaches.
Yeah.
You know, other coaches could get on Highway 35 and go north. So our guy did a much better job, but got in there and evaluated. We get the kid, and the rest of it's history.
You've always been a fan of Barry Sanders. I know this is the way he always conducts himself, always hand that football back to the referee.
Well, to me, he's an idol in the fact that today where they celebrate on anything that happens, they have to be an individual celebration, but not him. He laid the ball down, came to the bench, and it was just You admired him.
JV, he broke the single-season rushing record of Marcus Allen's. He broke the record by 24. Broke the record by 24. Scored 42 rushing touchdowns. You know, that year had 2,850 yards. We could have had him another 1,000 yards, quite honestly. People don't believe that, Gil. If we'd just left him, being the nice guys that we were, we got him out of there, you know. But on the same hand, he could have had another 1,000 yards. I mean, what he did, I think as time goes on, thinking that we watch this every day, you know, you think back on it, and we were literally watching history. Guys can't do that. They can't do it.
Pat, you know, you obviously spent all that time as a college coach and then some time in the NFL. What do you think the biggest difference when you make that leap into the NFL as opposed to intercollegiate?
Interesting, Gil. I was in the NFL 10 years, you know, 8 at Miami and 2 with Oakland. I think if you're in the professional, if you're winning and you got a real good owner, it's really a pretty neat deal because you didn't have to mess with recruiting. And now, if it went south on you, or you had an owner that was a bit goofy, you know, that's a long season. You're talking about 16 regular season games, 4 or 5 preseason games, and if you get in the playoffs, I mean, it's about 2 college seasons. I mean, if it goes the other way on you, it can be awfully tough. It's hard from a longevity. You know, the college season goes quite a bit quicker. But again, you know, where you don't have to deal with the recruiting part of it. You got free agency, you got evaluation, but you didn't have to deal with calling in and calling the kid on the phone. I don't text or any of that kind of stuff. I'd have had somebody do it for me if I had to do it today. But on the same hand, you didn't have to mess with any of that at the professional level, obviously.
Well, isn't it a lot like though you're managing millionaires now? I mean, you know.
Well, you know, the thing about it, Gil, is that it's funny. I've coached from high school to major college to the NFL. And the same things that win for you at the Miami Dolphins or the Oakland Raiders win for you at Jinx or Union. I mean, fundamentally, if you're well conditioned and you're highly motivated, you'll win. Now, if the people at the top of the food chain want you to win, be it your administration, high school wise, be it your AD and your president and your regions collegiately or your ownership professionally, you'll probably win. But you know, the whole thing, it starts at the top, whatever the level is.
Coach, I want to get your thoughts on Oklahoma State's season. I got this back in August. Sports Illustrated, Mason Rudolph on the cover.
Sure.
Picking not Oklahoma State to be in the Final Four and to win the Big 12. Finished 9-3. Your thoughts on their season?
I thought they were a little overhyped going in, to be quite honest about it. I mean, I'm happy for anybody gets their picture on the cover. You know, I watch them practice. I've seen more gifted groups over there than what this one is. You know, when they had Okung, Pettigrew, Des Bryant, I mean, there was more guys just popped at you. You know, I mean, this is now the interesting thing of it is, you know, with this league now, I mean, you take Nebraska, Colorado, Missouri, and A&M out of it. This sounds, you know, like I'm trying to make excuses for something. This league is way different than it was when it was either I coached at 2 Southwest Conference schools, Arkansas and SMU. You know, and this league is now, it's way different. And quite honestly, now there was a window of opportunity at Oklahoma State because of that. Yeah. You know, Mike's got a good club, and you're dealing with a little bit, quite honestly, a lighter touch league-wise. And I think that's where the disappointment probably falls. They were about a game off of where I thought they'd be. The Kansas State loss, you know, surprised me a little bit. But the other part of it really, really didn't. I mean, he's you know, they've been better in other areas than they are right now.
What do you think about Mason's draftability in the NFL?
That's going to be interesting. You know, if I had originally, when it was talk of he might come out early, Gil, in my own mind, I had a real high 4th round grade on him. I think he's probably going to end up with a 2nd round grade. Now, when I say grade, that's what grade I would put on him on my report. That doesn't mean, you know, he might, depending on what else is out there at quarterback, he might move his way up a little bit higher. I would imagine the grade with most of them will be probably around the lower half of the 2nd round, probably.
Pat, what do you think about football on the college level now, where there's no huddle? I mean, they just have one play after another, bang, bang, bang,
well, if
bang.
I'm not mistaken, didn't Coach Wilkinson have a style of play called the racehorse? I think that now
they lined up 5 yards from the ball, and they were right back on the ball.
I mean, you know, this is not. It's a little bit original, The thing, JV, that has changed, Gil, this level of play, which is still hard for me to get a handle on at times. Think of all the great college teams, those great players y'all had at K-State, or the great college players we've seen. If they were all leaving after 3 years, they wouldn't have been around. I mean, Sanders did leave after 3. He was the one that Herschel Walker had done. But all the great players, Billy Sims, all those players down there, or at any of the universities, you'd have lost them after 3. That's why the level of play, in my opinion, right now is not as good as it was because of those early outs. And you have kids that really shouldn't be coming out early, that are good college players. You got some of them coming out because they don't want to go to school. But from the standpoint of, the level is different now, and I have a little bit of a hard time at getting a grasp of it on it at times.
We're going to talk more with Coach Jones about Coach Gundy and his decision to stay at Oklahoma State and pass up a few $1 million from Tennessee. A lot more with the coach coming up on the Oklahoma Sports Scene, presented by Jimmy's Egg.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover's skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
The holidays are here. Enjoy a taste of the season with the new holiday sandwich at Billy Sims Barbecue. Fresh cut turkey, slow smoked on site each day, then piled high with savory cornbread dressing and Billy Sims signature cranberry Q sauce. Available for a limited time at Billy Sims Barbecue. And don't forget to make the upcoming holiday season special with slow smoked turkeys and spiral cut hams from Billy Sims Barbecue.
Get employee pricing right now at Route 66 Chevrolet. That's right, get employee pricing on the 2017 Chevy Colorado, Suburban, Traverse, and even the Silverado and Tahoe. Employee pricing on all 2017 models. And that's not all. Get 20% off the Chevy Cruze, Sonic, and Spark. Or get 0% for 72 months. Jim Glover Chevrolet is now Route 66 Chevrolet, I-44 Memorial, or Route66Chevy.com.
Celebrate your home today at Bowen's Discount Carpet for our Shop and Compare sale. Take advantage of our guaranteed lowest prices you can find. Great deals on new Shaw floors and a huge variety of brands and colors that you will have to see to believe. Let Shaw Floors spice up your space, along with 36 years of experience, and the beauty of your floors will shine. Come out to Bowen's, where we refuse to be undersold.
Hey, Jimmy's Egg wants to remind you to try these new decadent pancakes they have now. Bananas Foster and Caramel Apple Ultimate Pancake Combos. Don't forget they have breakfast, lunch, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. all through the state of Oklahoma. Jimmy's Egg welcomes you back to Oklahoma Sports Scene again with Coach Pat Jones. We also invite you folks to take part and be part of the show. Going through Twitter or Facebook, invite you to send in a question for us to hashtag AskOKSportsScene. Got some that came in for Coach Jones. One is from Nick, who wants to know, Coach, your Oklahoma State teams, what's maybe a story that one of your favorites that most people may not know about?
Oh, we were fortunate enough, and I was reading something this morning that made me think of this. There's been 8 teams at Oklahoma State who have won 10 games, and we were the first to do it in '84. There had been 80-something years of Oklahoma State football. Now, Fenimore and those guys only played in one last game, but we were the first team in '84, that group, to win 10 ball games. Then we did it again in '87 and '88. Now, Mike's got a chance, this crew this year, to get 3 in a row if they can pull it off. And Gil, people don't understand how hard it is to win 10 ball games one time. But Chris, I think when I think back at it, probably the 3 10s that we got, which were number 1, 2, and 3 in the history of that football program, probably are about the most rewarding thing.
Another one from Richard. Wanted to know about your memories of the Ice Bowl in that football game.
Well, the week before in Ames, the string was running. I knew we were kind of running on borrowed time a little bit because we were beat up at the receiver position. And we go up there to Ames, and it was much, much colder. We were about 5th in the country or something. I mean, much colder in Ames, just terrible weather conditions. We're beat up, and they upset us up there before the Ice Bowl, but I think with Thurman Thomas, that's the year OU wins a national title. They were, I think, #1 in the country in total defense. Thurman Thomas somehow ran for over 100 yards against them on ice. I mean, you couldn't even walk across the field without falling down. Somehow Thomas ran for 100 yards against that particular defensive unit on a sheet of ice. Of course, there's reasons he's got a bust in Canton too. I mean, but that was probably the doggonest performance when I think back on it, that you couldn't even stand up, and he runs for 100.
And here's a hashtag again, Ask OK Sportscene from Justin. Coach, don't you wish you were coaching now and could get fired and get the kind of payoff that people get in this day and age?
Well, I mean, it's all, you get, I mean, I got several $100,000 before, but that's 25 years ago. I was looking, Gil, at some of these incentives that coaches are getting for bowl games. Nick Saban at Alabama, for going to what is now the Tax Slayer Bowl, which is the Gator Bowl, I believe Saban is getting now 90 grand a pop if you went to that bowl. We went to it in '84 and '85, and I got 1 month's extra salary each time, in which Saban would have probably gotten around 200 grand-ish to go, had Alabama, and they probably want to run him off for going to that bowl. But from the standpoint of, we always just got an extra month pay, and the bonus things that are put in there now for number of wins and all these things just kind of blow you away.
Well, Pat, in that line, how relevant are those salaries now on a college campus when you look around and all the things that colleges need, professors and the schools of education and medicine and everything?
Well, I think about your football background at the major college level. Football pays for itself. That's not the issue. It's what do you do with the money. Now, this is coming from a football guy. I wanted to go back to football. I wanted to go back to football. I remember telling the interim president one time when I was losing a coach to Arkansas or someplace for about 20 grand. I said, I mean, we're losing this guy. Well, he'll stay here for 20 grand. And then he said, what am I going to tell that math professor over there that wants some money? I said, that's your problem. Now, I lost the guy to Arkansas, so it became my problem. But football can pay for itself. It's trying to make everything else work through football that's the problem there. And it's like Mike getting this upgrade over the gun to getting this upgrade over here. $5 million now. Anything that, to me, at Oklahoma State that you can do to enhance the prestige of your football program, I'm all for. Like I say, I'm all for that. Football is generating a lot of money. Maybe that's why they're going to try to sell booze over there to pay Gundy some more money or something. But, I have no problem with any of it because, again, it's football can pay for itself and all the things we're talking about.
Coach, can't thank you enough for all your time today, being with us on Oklahoma Sportscene. I'm sure the viewers enjoyed it as well. Thanks again, Coach.
I've enjoyed being with you guys immensely. Thank you.
I'll tell you, Coach, we want you to make sure you have a great breakfast at our sponsor, Jimmy's Egg. Enjoy it.
This is better than a buyout.
Not quite as much as some of us are getting.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again, Coach. And again, we invite you to join us on that hashtag AskOKSportsScene, because our next show will feature Barry Switcham. I'm sure you have a few questions for the King coming up. When we come back, TU is going to represent it as Don Tomkalski, the longtime communications director, is going to talk everything Golden Hurricanes. Stay with us.
I'm Kirk Smith, and this is my story. I'm a captain of TU's track and cross country teams, and I'm a Rhodes Scholar. My life's pretty simple. I run, I work, and then I run some more. My research focuses on combating climate change by driving down the cost of energy storage. And that's my story, so far.
Rising from the plains of Oklahoma is a destination for scholars and thinkers, dreamers and doers. This is where hope, hard work, and integrity create tomorrow's catalysts for change. And excellence is the standard demanded not only of your head, but your heart. This is Oklahoma State University, America's brightest orange.
Ditch Witch, 5 words or less.
Making the impossible possible.
Technology you can't live without.
Most versatile equipment ever made.
Customer service and support.
Reliable, productive, ground-chewing machines.
We're in this together.
Pleased to welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene set Don Tomkalski. He is the Senior Associate Athletic Director for Communications. And DT, thanks for not only being here, but for filling in for our star athlete. We hope to have D'Angelo Brewer. What happened?
Yeah, he apologized, but I texted him. He said, DT, text me and just remind me. So we talked last week,
right.
And I texted him this morning, and I didn't hear back from him, which is unusual. And then I texted him again. He said, DT, I forgot. I have a class project from 4 to 6. He said, can we do it another time? And so I, obviously.
Thanks for filling in.
I kind of filling in. Bad fill-in, but.
No, that's a real student athlete, though, isn't it, Coach?
I tell you, that's
and what a football player.
It's a typical TPS, Tulsa Central student athlete.
Talk about it. Tulsa Central, he was a quarterback, right?
He was the quarterback. I remember seeing his last game at Milton Stadium. And I thought, how in the world is he going to play quarterback at the University of Tulsa? But he didn't. He didn't have to.
No, and they recruited him as a running back, and I know, and he cites it, and Coach Montgomery does too. After the Oklahoma game, his sophomore year, Coach said, "This is what you need to do," and he just took the bull by the horns and got it done and did everything, and just a great representative of TPS, great representative of the University of Tulsa and the community, and great young man.
That's the thing that has been most impressive, because people have noticed that about him. And, when you hear him, the few times I've heard him on interviews, you wouldn't think he was a graduating senior at University of Tulsa. You would have thought maybe he was an assistant coach out there.
That's right. That's right. He has taken that leadership role this year. And he's been, last year we had so many guys that were used to being in front of the camera. And I told him in the spring ball, I said, D'Angelo, I'm really going to count on you this next year. And he said, DT, I'm looking forward to it. And sure enough, he's been awesome. And needless to say, the type of player he is. He's just a class individual.
All-time leading rusher, 3,917 yards, not only at the University of Tulsa, but for the American Athletic Conference, all-time best ever.
Yeah, and he accomplished that in the same game. He was going into the USF game. We were going in there, and he needed 110 yards to supplant their Marlon Mack, who had set the record last year. And he did that, and then lo and behold, he's getting closer to 150. I'm like, he's going to break this record tonight too. So he did it, and added with a 255-yard game in the final, and he added to it. So again, great performance. I think that was, that position this year started out in preseason camp as with the one with the most depth. But then we lost Corey Taylor, who was a rush for 100 yards against Oklahoma State in the opener. We lost Ramadi Warren for an academic reason that he couldn't perform. We lost another one from injury, and then Shamari Brooks we lost for injury. So you're down to your top 5 guys. You're down to 1 at the end of the season, and we see all across America. It takes a little bit of a team effort when you're running the ball.
Do you see him going into coaching?
I see him going in the NFL.
All right.
And then I see him going into coaching. Yes, I really do. And he wants to get his degree. He's only a 4-year guy, and you get a lot of guys that redshirt that first year, but he didn't. He's a 4-year guy, and he's not too far. I'm not exactly if he has December. I think he has the spring in December, but he's pretty close.
DT, how do you explain the success the University of Tulsa athletic program has had? Everybody talks about we're the smallest school, right, enrollment-wise, in FBS, about 100, what would that be, 128 or whatever it is?
130 some, yeah.
And yet we just finished winning the American Conference All-Sports Trophy last year. We've dominated this conference. It's amazing.
I think it starts with people. I think it starts with our coaches, and I think we recruit really good young people. And the coaches surround themselves with good staffs. It is remarkable when you think about it. I mean, when you look, you're going up against a team, USF, who has an enrollment of 49,000 and we have an enrollment of 3,400. And then, you know, I mean, you're playing them to 7. Last year, we're going up against the team that the university that has close to 60,000, UCF, who this year had an unbelievable year. You know, and we're 3,400. It's remarkable to think of what our student athletes and our coaches and the athletic program overall has done with, you know, I mean, not as many resources.
Yeah.
And just a small, you know, when you're talking about that enrollment, you're talking about small student base, you're talking about small enrollment.
Sure.
You know, that's why we need more people, Tulsa community, that weren't TU grads, to come out and support these kids.
I think the other thing people don't realize is a small alumni base.
Yeah.
Because you have small
sure.
graduating classes, and when you're dealing with the Texas A&Ms and the Oklahomas and those people who graduate 4,000 or 5,000 a year.
DT, what's coming up in the next
exactly
couple
right.
weeks here? TU, real quickly.
You know, we've got basketball games on the women's basketball and then men's basketball, the 14th and 16th, 28th. People will be recognize the name. Doug Wojcik is a former coach here that'll be coming back on the ECU staff, and that kicks off American Athletic Conference play, and so we're looking forward to that and getting off to a good start there.
Gil, have something for DT here
Sure
too.
do. We're glad you're here today, DT, and just tell the brewer that he really missed out on breakfast with Jimmy's.
Yeah, he's not getting this one. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Another
DT.
thing, though,
Yes,
December
okay.
20th is signing day, early signing day for football.
Get some of those football guys in. Thanks, DT.
right.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank
And
you.
Deonzo Brewer,
Appreciate
again, congratulations on all you've done. Also, first team American Athletic Conference. Great young man, and Tulsa Central and TPS very proud of you. Back with Barry Lewis and Harry Harrison. We're going to talk high school football and hand out some awards straight ahead.
Get employee pricing right now at Route 66 Chevrolet. That's right. Get employee pricing on the 2017 Chevy Colorado, Suburban, Traverse, and even the Silverado and Tahoe. Employee pricing on all 2017 models. And that's not all. Get 20% off the Chevy Cruze, Sonic, and Spark. Or get 0% for 72 months. Jim Glover Chevrolet is now Route 66 Chevrolet, I-44 Memorial, or Route66Chevy.com.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lovers skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Don't miss the final day of the live Thoroughbred season, featuring the $400,000 Springboard Mile, cash prizes, and your free 2018 calendar.
We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
And only at Remington Park.
The holidays are here. Enjoy a taste of the season with the new holiday sandwich at Billy Sims Barbecue. Fresh cut turkey, slow smoked on site each day, then piled high with savory cornbread dressing and Billy Sims' signature cranberry Q sauce. Available for a limited time at Billy Sims Barbecue. The holidays are here. Enjoy a taste of the season right now with the new holiday sandwich at Billy Sims Barbecue.
We're back on Sports Scene, and Jimmy's Egg presenting it to you. And want to remind you, Jimmy's Egg, this is a good time of year to purchase that $25 gift card. You receive a coupon then for $5 to use in the month of January. That's Jimmy's Egg. Joining us now on the set, Harry Harrison, of course, General Manager, Route 66 Chevrolet, one of our big segment sponsors here, and our old friend Barry Lewis here from the Tulsa World, their top prep sports writer. Harry, let's start with you. What's up there, keeping all these ads and stuff? You're giving Chevrolets away. What's going on out there?
It's like giving them away this month. If anybody's interested in a Chevrolet with the employee pricing, it's like thousands below. I've never seen in 37 years in the business prices this low. Unbelievable. if we don't sell more cars than I've ever sold, then I might be looking for another job. You got any spots available? Anything like that? So
2018 models in yet?
We got the 18s coming in. The employee pricing's on the 17 models. All brand new 17s, and like I said, the amount of savings that you have, it's phenomenal. You guys need to come out and check out these Chevrolets anyway. It's America's vehicle. So come on out, Coach, and get you one.
There you go.
All right.
Route 66 Chevrolet, of course, is our title sponsor here, or segment sponsor, I should say, for our big Oklahoma Prep Awards, our monthly award to the outstanding Oklahoma athlete and coach through the state of Oklahoma. That's why Barry Lewis is here. He and his staff have helped make the selection here. Barry, who do we have? Let's start with the player for the month of November in the state of Oklahoma.
It's going to be Corbin Daniels, the fine free safety wide receiver from Holland Hall. Corbin helped lead Holland Hall to the most wins in school history in its first OSSA district title. The Dutch went 12-0 before losing in the semifinals to Davis, always a very tough place to play. Corbin seemed to pull off a spectacular play in almost every game, and he scored touchdowns in just about every way, too. He scored 16 touchdowns as a receiver, had 43 catches for almost 1,100 yards. He scored on 3 of his 8 kick returns, returning both punts and kickoffs, and scored on one of his 13 state-leading interceptions. So Corbin Daniels is the player of the month, and I think that a lot of major colleges are missing the boat on Corbin. He can play at that level.
Gil, you've got a special plaque that you've had designed and produced that Harry's got for us here.
Harry is our good sponsor for this segment and has really wanted to be involved with our award for our student athlete and our coach of the month. And we're really tickled that we have that sponsorship, Harry. And you see the plaque, and these plaques will be going to each of these individuals each month as we pick a player and coach of the month.
Harry, you'll send a letter out with it too? And
I'll be happily sending a letter out with this, congratulating Corbin on a fantastic year, and I hope has a great career in the future.
Coach of the month couldn't have been an easy decision. Championship time, we had some outstanding coaching efforts, and who'd you guys come up with as our coach of the month in Oklahoma for November?
Coach of the month for November, although it sort of went over into December as well. December 1st is Brad Caleb from Booker T, Washington, as Coach Caleb led the Hornets to their first state title since 2010, and Booker T. Washington is also the only 6A team to not have lost to another team in the state of Oklahoma this year. They went undefeated against all their Oklahoma competition. A great season for Booker T. Washington, which was capped by its 28-21 victory over Bixby in the 6A2 state final. So congratulations to Brad Caleb from Booker T. Washington, the coach of the month.
And there's Coach Caleb's plaque. I thought, Gil, you were going to have a heart attack trying to watch that game. Bixby made a heck of a run at him, and Booker T. gave him a lot of help early on.
I'll tell you, when it was 21-7, I was really concerned. And then it went 21-21, and me and my staff were sitting in the press box. And so I said, well, it's tied. We better go down for the overtime. We get down through the elevator, and we get around the corner, and we hear everybody cheering. And we think something has happened. Well, that's when we ran the ball down to the 1-yard line. And then we scored on the very next play. And, you know, what an exciting thing for those kids. And, of course, Coach Caleb did a really great job. As Barry indicated, the only loss was in the border battle in Shreveport, Louisiana. And we've signed contracts to go back for 2 more years down there because they really feel like that prepares us for Oklahoma competition.
And for the first time in how long, 21 years, it's not Owasso, not Jenks or Union, right, for the championship in 6A1.
Well, you know, that did not surprise me that Owasso was to win it, for the simple reason that in the first game they played that year, or this year, you know, it was right down to the very end, and then Union wins it. Well, whoever wins that one will probably lose the next one, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, we want to congratulate Bill Blankenship too. He did a great job his first year at Owasso and getting the Rams, into the state championship. Really an outstanding effort, and we're kind of pleased that when I text Bill early Saturday morning, and he answered back and said, "Well, we got both goal balls in North Tulsa."
And of course, Barry, it's amazing. His last 4 seasons of high school football, right?
Yes, he's got a winning streak. The last 4 years he's coached in high schools. He's won a state title back in 04 and 05 with Union. And then there was that stint in between with the University of Tulsa where he won the Liberty Bowl.
That's right.
And then 2016, he won an Arkansas state title with Fayetteville. And I really have to admit, going into the season, I thought it was long odds for him to make it 4 in a row, but he did it, winning the state title with Owasso.
And our congratulations to Carl Albert, the 5A champion, beating Bishop McGinnis 35-23. Also in 4A, Heritage Hall blanked 8 at 14-0, and C tipped it over Pond Creek Hunter. And Gil, we have just a few more finals to finish up here.
We have the 3A through the Class B, and in 3A finals we have Beggs, which is in East Oklahoma, versus Sulphur at Stillwater. That game will be on Friday at 7 p.m. Washington versus Millwood should be an outstanding game. 2 really good football teams. That will be at Yukon on Friday at 7 p.m. Afton will play Crescent at Owasso High School at 7 p.m. on Friday. And Laverne and Shutter will be in the Class B finals, and that will be at Southwestern State on Friday at 7 o'clock.
Barry Lewis, thanks for joining us. Harry, thanks for supporting Oklahoma
you very
Sports Scene,
much.
and the high school athletes around the state of Oklahoma and the coaches as well.
I'm proud to be here.
Thank you guys. When we come back, we have our parting shots and a report from Remington Park. Straight ahead.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, it won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Okay, looks like he's almost off the phone. Let's go.
Surprise! Happy birthday, Sammy!
It's not my birthday yet.
Not yet, but we're celebrating all month long with special deals on Hondas and fun prizes when you come to visit the showroom.
That's selling Honda Sammy style. Just don't tell him I'm turning 60. I mean 50. I mean 49.
Come into Don Carlton Honda, family owned and operated for over 40 years.
I'm Kirk Smith, and this is my story. I'm a captain of TU's track and cross country teams, and I'm a Rhodes Scholar. My life's pretty simple. I run, I work, and then I run some more. My research focuses on combating climate change by driving down the cost of energy storage. And that's my story, so far.
The 2017 Remington Park Thoroughbred season is charging down the stretch to the big Springboard Mile Day on December 17th. In recent days, milestones have been achieved and another big Remington Park Stakes race has been elevated in status. The Remington Park Oaks has been made a Grade 3 event, thanks in large part to the caliber of 3-year-old fillies competing in the race in recent years, most notably 2016 Eclipse Award-winning 2-year-old filly, Champagne Room. The large filly traveled to Oklahoma City this season to make the 2017 edition of the Oaks hers in a romp. Asked for run now, Champagne Room kicks it clear with a quarter mile to go. 6 furlongs, 1 minute, 11.07 seconds, top of the stretch. In the Remington Park Oaks, it's Champagne Room by 2. Ever So Clever now second, trying to gain. Falling back third, Holly's Angel, Baby Lucy Dancing, and then Torrent. The champion, Champagne Room, is free on the front. She's rolling on by 4. All out, Ever So Clever can't cut to the margin. Gutierrez and Champagne Room measure perfectly, taking the Remington Park Oaks by 4. The Remington Park Oaks joins the Oklahoma Derby in Grade 3 company as the only graded races during the thoroughbred season. Jockey Richard Aramia posted a huge milestone during the Thanksgiving week at Remington Park, winning his 2,000th race in North America. Conquest Hio Silver gave Aramia number 2,000. The native of Uruguay arrived in the USA in 2005 and quickly accumulated his 2,000 triumphs on this continent. Mark your calendars once again for Sunday, December 17th, Springboard Mile Day here at Remington Park. The $400,000 event is the top 2-year-old race of our season and now carries Kentucky Derby eligibility points, meaning high-quality 2-year-olds will be arriving in Oklahoma City trying to get those valuable points to make it to the Kentucky Derby in 2018. At Remington Park in Oklahoma City, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sports Scene.
Oklahoma Sports Scene presented by Jimmy's Egg. It's time for the parting shots. And to get us underway, here's Coach Cloud.
I want to congratulate all of our high school teams that have won state championships and the 4 classes that are still playing that will compete for championships this weekend. You know, these kids fight hard for 4 or 5 months out of the year. They go to the off-season programs. And a day and time when kids need to work and have other things that are interesting to them, it's very difficult, I think, to see the dedication that you have and not just have a great deal of admiration for our high school student athletes.
JV?
I'd like to congratulate Lon Kruger, who is the head basketball coach at the University of Oklahoma, because of his recruitment of Norman North's Trey Young. What a player this young man has turned into. He gets 43 points against Oregon. He gets 32 points against North Texas. But not only did he get those points, but he also got a number of assists. And the way he is playing, it's just really a big pat on the back to the staff at the University of Oklahoma for bringing in an Oklahoma kid, and he does what he is doing.
He is special. I got another kid to look forward to. Before my parting shot, I want to mention, what the heck, Josh Stokes is our director and producer here and everything. His son at Lincoln Christian, Caleb Stokes, 6'5", junior shooting guard. Pay attention, coaches. He lit him up in their opener. The Lincoln Christian had 29 points. We'll have highlights to show you, coaches, here. Again, Caleb, the son of Josh Stokes. Congratulations, Caleb, off to a good start. Well done. Now for my parting shot. It's all about money, money, money. Let's see. Todd Graham was fired at Arizona State. Get out of here. Leave. Oh, and here's $12.3 million. Jim Moore, UCLA, you're gone. Here's $12.2 million. Texas A&M owes Kevin Sumlin $10.4 million. Butch Jones at Tennessee got run off before the season even ended. He only got $8.3 million. Mike Riley, $6.6 million to leave Nebraska. And Brett Bellema, Razorbacks, $5.9 million. And of course, we just had Jimbo Fisher sign a 10-year contract at Texas A&M for $75 million. Should have been a coach, not a damn sportscaster. That's it for Oklahoma Sports Scene. Don't forget, the next show, November 20th, the King will be here, Barry Switzer. Don't forget, join us and be sure to get in those questions as well for Oklahoma Sports Scene. Have a great time here. Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a good time with Coach Jones. We'll see you next time on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover's skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Get employee pricing right now at Route 66 Chevrolet. That's right, get employee pricing on the 2017 Chevy Colorado, Suburban, Traverse, and even the Silverado and Tahoe. Employee pricing on all 2017 models. And that's not all. Get 20% off the Chevy Cruze, Sonic, and Spark. Or get 0% for 72 months. Jim Glover Chevrolet is now Route 66 Chevrolet, I-44 Memorial, or Route66Chevy.com.
Hi, welcome to Journey Fitness.
Journey Fitness is your locally owned gym located in Bixby. Enjoy 24/7 access to a clean, friendly, staffed facility. Journey Fitness has limited memberships available to ensure waiting to use equipment is a thing of the past. Our trainers are second to none, no matter your goals.
My journey is my journey.
My journey is my time.
No matter your journey, fitness is ours. Come join us.